Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. Delighted to say we've got Tam Cowan, Alan Ruffin alongside me, Peter Martin. We'll be talking about that SPFL vote. We'll also be discussing the English Premier League players stepping up to the plate with their money to the NHS. We've got a one-to-one with Hibs captain David Gray, and we always like to start with a quiz. Yes, quite an easy one. All you have to do is guess the season. With the league campaign, Celtic winning it by 12 points, Dunfermline finishing bottom, Paul Le Guen sacked by Rangers, and Hibs win the League Cup in this particular season. We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. So, Roughie and Tam are here. Don't know if you've noticed it. You will if you're a regular to our show. Tam, growing the beard and moustache. This looks as if it's a bit more rugged.
It looks rather sexy, is what you really mean, Peter. I'm channeling my inner George Michael, or maybe the guy for Finger Bobs, if you're talking about me or our era. But I've basically no shaved. It's my way of, you know how in the films when guys were in prison and they always chalk up on the wall how many days it's been since they've been in and all that. This beard is my barometer. I've basically not shaved since the first day of lockdown, and I'm not going to.
Well, I don't know about you, Roughie, but that gives me a feeling that... Are you okay, Roughie? You've been coughing and spluttering for the first 3 minutes of the show. Are you all right?
I'm perfectly fine.
I don't know about you, Roughie, but I think Tam could be heading towards Tom Hanks and Castaway.
Yeah, I tried it once for that. Was it Movember? But no facial hair at all. It was just annoying me, so I never lasted the whole month. So you're doing really well, Tam, if you can continue this.
Although your good lady wife Maggie, she raised a fortune for it last year, didn't she?
It's strangely enough, Roughie, you are not the type of guy that I can ever remember having a beard or moustache. I don't think I've ever seen you with that, ever.
No, I'm even as bad. I have to shave every morning when I get up. I never ever go a day without shaving. Just a habit I'm in. I just don't like facial hair. It's too itchy for me.
Yeah, I had that feeling that might be the case, Roughie, for you. Where are you going? Roughie, with this?
I'm not going anywhere with that.
No, thank you. Thomas McGee, Stephen Clarkson, Donegal. Tam, I don't know if you realise this, but the amount of people, Vancouver, Australia, America, Donegal, Airdrie, people are following us from everywhere, Tam, just to join in and give us their thoughts.
It's absolutely fantastic. More power to them. It does make you realise, Peter, that this is a global thing. Of course, we know that. It's a pandemic. It's the whole planet. And it's quite actually, it almost gives you a wee chill thinking that there are people, the same way that we're doing this show, who are sitting in places like Vancouver, Donegal, sitting, watching, looking into their iPad, looking into their phones at the same time that we're doing it. It's a good kind of community spirit about it, and kind of helps cheer me up a wee bit as I got divorced yesterday.
Yes, it's an ongoing topic, I have to tell you, Tam, because the amount of people obviously who have to live with their partners more than they would normally. Yes, which is all. Now I speak for women on this part as well, because we're murder. Roughie, you're murder. You're getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm struggling to sleep. I go to bed quite early and then waking up obviously early. Watch a couple of bits on the telly and then go back to my bed. It's just some kind of dream. I remember listening to a doctor on the radio, I think it was, and he said, if you're waking up during the night and you can't get back to sleep, don't lie there for an hour trying to get to sleep. Get up and do something, and then go back to your bed. So that's what I'm doing. You know, I mean, Maggie's not too happy about getting wakened at 3 and 4 in the morning, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Roughie, what's the picture behind you today? Everybody's asking already.
Same. The picture behind me today was presented to me at Partick Thistle. It's a Mary Hill theme of the sort of legends of Mary Hill, and I don't know if you can see who's at the far corner. I'm at one side and somebody else is at the other side. Obviously, it's a painting, so you've got to try and guess who that is.
Yeah, okay, it's a Partick Thistle legend.
No. It's somebody from the Maryhill. Initially, his early days of Maryhill, but moving on to bigger things. But he was a Maryhill sort of a boy during the early days of his career. Not football.
Okay. Yeah, okay, Roughie, we get it. Dougie Liddell, Mel Irving, Paul Broadfoot, Ron Carney, Ian Cashmore.
No, it's none of them.
No, they're just people that are saying hello to us. These are people on the Facebook, so hi to you all. Martino's joined us, Rab Lindsay as well. Lots of people want to put their point off. Rab Lindsay, Carrick Fergus in Northern Ireland, Tam. Now, that I think now this brings me nicely to you, Tam. There is a song I think called Carrick Fergus, an old Irish folk song. Yeah, but you've been doing a lot of singing, which obviously led me to believe that you probably were going stir crazy. You are releasing on your Instagram every now and then a wee song that you like to sing to the camera.
Yeah, it's the coronavirus album. I've already got 3 tracks that I've put down, and I'm hoping to release it later in the guise of Tam O'Chanter. I think Tam O'Chanter is a great name for the artiste, and I think my favourite so far was my wee Bing Crosby tribute, if I could give you just the start of that now, which was nice. I didn't need the hat for it, of course, but the Bing Crosby one was just... I'm dreaming of a white Luro, just like the ones I used to know, whether 2-ply or 3-ply, quilted or velvet, it's the stuff that makes my arse cheeks glow. That's the general idea.
That's fantastic.
So
Tam.
I've got a new, if MD's tuned in globally, I've got my new single, which has been released on Instagram tonight. It is a perler, 6 p.m. British summertime, GMT, whatever I'm scrabbling about here for. But 6 o'clock our time on Instagram at The Real Tam Cowan, and my brand new single, and it is superb.
You see, Roughie, talk about self-promotion. Andy Wilson says it's 11:05 here in Western Australia. Remember, 3 time zones over here. Great show, loves it. Thanks to John Allen as well. Mel Irving, who's in Edinburgh. You see, we get them from all over the place, and we're delighted that you could join us. Okay, Roughie, yesterday, I couldn't believe it. It was almost as if you were actually firing out the Partick Thistle board meeting as you defended the cause vigorously. I laughed heartily this morning when I read the statements, and I thought, that's just verbatim what Roughie said yesterday. So the SPFL vote, it's coming Friday, 5 o'clock. There's a few dissenters. Do you think you've got enough in the campaign in the lower leagues to thwart this, Roughie?
Well, I don't think it's done and dusted that it's going to be Friday. I think there's some things in the rule book that say you can't push these things through in 2 days. They generally have to look at them over a specific time. That's the first thing they've got to get round. I think that'll be the next thing to come out. But again, the thing I'm disappointed in is that there's £8 million lying there, and they're insisting in doing this voting system. Before it's an act of bribery. To say, look, if you don't vote, you're not getting your money. The money's there. Just hand it out and help these clubs that need the money to survive.
Do you buy into that, Tam?
Yeah, I'm very much of the opinion, Peter. I want the season to be played to a finish, but I want the money to be given out now. And I think the best example of that, coincidentally, I'm going to chuck the name Motherwell in here, but we are a good example to use in this particular situation. I think you hand out the prize money as the league stand just now. Now, for example, Motherwell would get the money for finishing 3rd. Aberdeen would get the money for finishing 4th. But I do think we should complete the season as soon as possible once we get the all clear post-coronavirus. And when we then finish the 2019-2020 season, if Aberdeen have jumped into 3rd place and let's say Motherwell are 4th, then you just do a quick bit of subtraction or addition and you adjust the money wherever possible. The SPFL say to Mullow, you know what, turns out we gave you too much money, we gave you your third place prize money, you need to hand a wee bit back of that so that we can pass it on to Aberdeen, who did finish third. That for me is a sensible way ahead. It means that the clubs get money now, and it does mean that we get a conclusion, no matter when it is, to the 2019-20 season.
Okay, listen, on the back of what Roughie was saying, Partick Thistle says we believe that the proposal requires significantly more discussion, scrutiny and debate before any vote can be taken. We're now engaging with others to amend the proposal to identify a fairer and more equitable solution to address a number of inequalities it throws up. At an unprecedented time for football, we believe that it doesn't meet the basic principle that no club should be left worse off by this important decision. So that's exactly what the back end of it from you is, Roughie, at Partick Thistle. As far as Rangers are concerned, they released a statement laid on yesterday. For the avoidance of doubt, Rangers firmly believe the season is only complete when all 38 games have been played to a finish. Nevertheless, we are conscious of the ongoing financial hardship faced by many clubs within the Scottish game. As a club, Rangers will immediately propose a members' resolution which would release prize money to be distributed to all clubs throughout Scotland urgently. We believe that this is the priority in these certain circumstances. So with that in mind, and remember, every club releases a statement. That doesn't mean to say it is verbatim what's going to happen. This is from their own perspective. Rangers, like every other club, I agree with you, Roughie, needs the money. But there will be, whether it's Friday or whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there will be a vote on the initial proposal for the lower league clubs. And then I believe, and I think many others believe this, Roughie, by the 23rd, in the time the UEFA Executive Committee has the meeting, I think the week after that, they will not force, but I think prompt a number of nations to call the league.
Well, I mean, that's going to be a big shout, whoever does that, because we've already discussed on the show the difficulties of coming to that kind of conclusion. The thing I just can't get my head around, Peter, is how they've given all the clubs the Championship, First Division, Second Division. You've got 2 days to vote on this. Can you imagine Neil Doncaster saying to the SPFL, the big clubs, right, you've got 2 days to come up with a solution, league reconstruction. Why is that not happened? Why is that not number one on the table rather than we'll have a look at it in 3 or 4 weeks after you've all voted?
Well, I agree with you on the basis that I think the league reconstruction and the expansion of it, Tam, should be on the table now. I've always said, I make no bones about it, Tam, and people can say it certainly can't be biased, but I don't want Hearts to go down. And the reason why I don't want Hearts to go down is I think they're too big a club. In a financial disaster like this, I think it's not only going to be difficult for them, but I think to lose a crowd of 16,000 that they bring to the game and the stature of that club, I think we've got to expand the league to get them in, get Dundee United in, get Falkirk in, and expand that league to 14. Even if it's for the short term, I think we need to save lots of clubs in this issue.
Yeah, well, if it's a matter of calling a halt on the league, this week, next week, whatever it may be, then I totally agree about expanding the leagues and basically saving a few clubs bacon. But I would still stick to my guns on this and say that whether it's July, August, September, October, whether it's next March, I do think this league campaign should resume. It should be played to a finish. But in the meantime, the funds must be released. And Rangers, in their statement, they were effectively talking about an interest-free loan from the SPFL or whatever to cover what would have been the prize money. Yep, I would go with that as well. Of course, the minute we bring Rangers into it and you talk about Celtic, you'll have Rangers fans that would pals of mine saying as if, we could still win the league. I think we need to forget all that chat. I'm really only looking at the survivally clubs at the bottom ends of leagues, if you're talking about that. The bottom line was Celtic were home and hosed, and I would challenge any Rangers fan who's watching this broadcast right just now, I would challenge him, before the football finished, are you seriously telling me you would even have bet bad money on Rangers winning this league. It wasn't going to happen. Celtic were home and hose, so let's not look at the petty stuff between Celtic and Rangers. Let's not look at the whataboutery. Let's forget all the talk about asterisk titles and tainted titles and sporting integrity. This is a global pandemic. What we are looking at now, via the cash that is out there, is the simple survival of clubs, the simple survival of Scottish football. That's what we've got to look at first and foremost. Let's get it sorted.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think admirable point of view there, Tam, but the reality on this is quite simply that I don't believe there's going to be a ball kicked. Roughie, I don't think you believe there's going to be a ball kicked before we get to June. We've already argued over players' contracts. We've already argued over players' transfers as well to other clubs. And we've already argued over the point that are you going to finish the league season with a totally different set of players to try and resolve who wins the title and who gets relegated? So there are so many different permutations, Roughie, that make it unbelievably difficult. I don't think there'll be a ball kicked. And I think once we get UEFA giving people a guideline and a steer legally where they sit, especially, Roughie, with the TV deals, because the TV needs to start a new season as well. UEFA competition needs to start in a new season next season. So all of those things have a cut-off point. And that cut-off point is coming. I agree with Tam and yourself. Yes, by all means, release the 8 million that's in the kitty. But there's a line coming in the sand. And, you know, for want of a better, situation here, there's lots of fans who'll be all fighting on every form of social media, Roughie, you want. But somebody's going to have to call it soon. I agree with you. I think they should put in league expansion is on the table in a double vote.
Yeah, what they've done is they've dodged the Hearts situation. They've dodged the Hearts situation. They've dodged the Rangers and Celtic situation and said, look, let's go down the leagues. All these wee clubs are desperate for money. They'll be seem to be voting. We'll be seem to be active in getting some kind of reconstruction, and they'll all vote for it. It remains to be seen whether they all do vote for it. Because as I've spoken on the show on numerous occasions, self-preservation. You know, everybody's going to vote accordingly. I mean, look at Wraith Rovers and Falkirk. How are Falkirk going to take this a point? They've been relegated for the championship. They've been in the division. They're on their way back up. They're a point short of the Wraith Rovers, and they're going to be told that you've got no chance at all of getting up to the championship. That's suicide for them. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you look at the rules that they throw out. They casually throw out, right, Partick Thistle will be relegated, Stranraer will be relegated, but Brecon, you're okay. Talk me through that one.
Listen, the other point, Peter, the other point I'd like to make is I think it'd be folly not maybe to have a go. If we don't, as I want, the season to be continued, if they think, no, that's it, we're finishing, it'd be folly not to have league reconstruction. I think it would also be folly not to introduce other elements to Scottish football for a starting back, because there's never been a more important time when football resumes to get bums on seats, given the financial hardship that every club has suffered for the past few weeks, nearly a month now, and for the coming months. So if there was anything on the table, not only about league reconstruction to get the fans out, we've heard in the past fans talking about let's outlaw offside for the 18-yard line upwards. Let's introduce a sin bin instead of the normal yellow, red cards, whatever. I would be up for them putting other things on the table. Anything that would maybe even give football, not to turn it into an American sport, which is always the argument that folk like bringing up, but anything that would get a wee bit of razzmatazz, a shot in the arm that would guarantee that when we do start back, that fans who have always loved football, who have always gone and supported a football team, that they won't continue just to sit in the house or be happy with watching games on the telly. Let's use this time off to get the real thinkers of Scottish football, the innovators, let's get them round a table and make Scottish football an unmissable product at the end of this, because I think the clubs are really, really going to need it.
Yeah, well, forgive me again, and I hate to be the kind of I don't even want to use the word realist in this. The three of us here. I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate, and then obviously offer the facts to us, and we can all offer our opinion, as so many people are doing here from all across the globe. Thank you on YouTube, Grant Patterson as well, Bill Mitchell, Torquemada, Davey Anderson, Scott Welder, and of course on Facebook. Everybody is offering their opinion on this, but if I can just give you the realities here, not a ball will be kicked because, quite simply, nobody is going to be able to get back out training, playing, and ready for May, June. It's not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is all you have to do is watch the news and watch what they're trying to do with the coronavirus and flatten the curve. Everybody's staying in, nobody's going out, and certainly fans won't be going out en masse to a ground to see this league resolved. So, like it or lump it, they're going to call the champions because null and void's off the table. But I do think there should be a bit of movement. And I agree with you, Roughie. I do think we should all get to a situation of forcing a bit of movement, resolution on, one, give them the money. Two, look at league expansion to save clubs in this situation, which is dire. And that's the only thing about it. I mean, I'm listening and I'm reading Crawford Allen today from the head of referees. And he's basically said, listen, forget about VAR. That's not going to happen because we're skint. There's no danger. Technology's coming in for the next couple of years. And the other thing about it, Roughie, as well as the points that we've made with regards to competitions and TV deals, everybody thinks that the TV companies have a bottomless pit of money. They don't. They are struggling and losing millions by the day. So if we think they're going to be bailing us out with a TV deal when they can't even resolve what league season is finished, they need to finish it and hopefully get some kind of money coming through in this new 6-year deal with Sky for next season, Tam. It's not going to happen unless we get a resolution and a cut-off point to this season.
Well, incidentally, I don't think we need VAR now, thanks to the coronavirus, because everybody from toddlers right through to great grannies are experts on Skype, Facebook Live, and WhatsApp video time, So I bet you we could bring in our own technology at the touchline just to forget VAR. There's money saved right away, Peter. I mean, I cannot believe, see if you'd have said to me 6 months ago, Peter, that you know what, Tam, you will be doing a show for PLZ Soccer. You'll be sitting in your office. You'll have the kit rigged up. I would have told you to go and take a whistle, but here I'm sitting doing this. And as long as we remember the basic rule, which I think, as we can all understand, is only speak when you're spoken to, that's the one wee difference that this makes. Rather than when we were sitting in the sofa in the lovely PLZ studio and we could talk over each other, we could nip in with jokes, we could laugh at each other, have a slag and all the rest of it. The rules are slightly different in this format, but it's amazing that what can be done. And I want to pay tribute again to your viewers, your listeners, whatever you want to call them, the PLZ family, because for folk tuning into this from Australia, for goodness sake, I mean, it's incredible. And that's incidentally one of my top tips for Roughie. I know we were talking last week, Alan, about all the films and all that it might be worth a wee viewing in the idle hours that we've all got just now. Walkabout, starring Jenny Agutter. The family, you seen that? Walkabout with Jenny.
Yeah. 40 years old.
Oh, Walkabout, Jenny Agutter, the Australian scenery, fantastic shots of the bush. Trust me.
Okay, there you are. So it's a kind of a. You're a bad man. You really are. I need to get somebody to get round there and leather you. Anyway, apart from anything else,
tell them to bring wine and chocolate, sweeties, dried pasta, milk,
and toilet roll. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, Mick Riley, John Simpson, Stevie Robinson. I'll tell you one thing, Roughie. I mean,
Stevie Robinson.
Yeah, well, not. I don't think it's your Stevie Robinson, but nevertheless, I would say to you, Roughie, lots of people are saying, listen, let's make it 16 or 18. Everybody's got a great permutation on it. I don't have the definitive. All I'm trying to do to you is relay the facts as they are in front of us, with the virus, with the financial implications, with the TV companies. And by the way, Roughie, the one thing that we've forgotten about, Tam mentioned the fans. A lot of people are not going to have jobs. They're going to be financially under pressure. I think a lot of people will look and say, do I need Sky? Do I need BT? Do I need to pay for this and that? Do I need to buy a season ticket? So I think the priority here is to think about, even when we do come out and the government allows us all to walk out the door, what state we're all going to be in to be able to go forward, because people's livelihoods and companies are at stake, and that is the greatest tragedy here.
Yeah, that's why I can't understand why the SPL are throwing out this sort of maybe not an ultimatum to everybody, vote within 2 days. I'm sure if they really thought about it, and you've touched on it briefly there, league reconstruction, 4 teams up for the championship, 2 teams up for first division, 2 teams up for the second division, Kelty and Brora coming up for the bottom. We'll hand out all your money, and how do you think the vote would go?
Yeah, I'd vote for that. I think
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Why do the problem is the SPL do not want to make the decisions to hurt the big teams.
Yeah, well, listen,
and I can't believe, Peter, I can't believe that we are still. I was reading something about it this morning, how they still would think about getting guaranteed 4 Celtic and Rangers games every season. And you think, come on, guys, these are, as everybody keeps saying, unprecedented times. We need to look at the bigger picture. And Scottish football, I'm afraid, isn't just about Celtic and Rangers. There are clubs lying just now with their throats slit open. We need the money out to the clubs just now. And then whether it's league reconstruction or whether somehow, sometime we play the season to a conclusion, fine, but get the money out now. That is crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Tam, I buy into that. But listen, I worked for Sky Sports for 3 years. I'll give you the reality of the picture as well. It's not about Celtic and Rangers. You're right. The collective of Scottish football should be about everyone. I lived in Edinburgh for 12 years, and I could view from an outsider living in the east of Scotland how the west of Scotland was dominated by Celtic and Rangers, and Hearts and Hibs and Raith Rovers and Dunfermline meant not a jot to them, Aberdeen's or St Johnstone. But the harsh reality from my experience in this game is quite simply, they need 4 games because that is the big selling point in a marketing, but a marketing plan for the TV companies. They want Celtic and Rangers. They are a huge attraction, not just here in UK, Tam. It's a global sale. And I hate to say it, but that's the reality.
Well, right. Well, you know what I'd say about that? Maybe Sky Sports are doing us all a favour then. Maybe they're trying to wean us off Celtic and Rangers because their coverage over the past couple of weeks would have been showing a wee bit of nostalgic football. It has been appalling. They keep chucking in these wee 10, 15-minute bursts of highlights of games of the past, primarily, as you would imagine, the English Premier League. But the Scottish games that they drop in, it's invariably Celtic Rangers. And it's the same ones every single night. If it's a Rangers game, it's Rangers against Aberdeen. If it's a Celtic game, Celtic against Hibs. It is the same guff every night. And I think there's folk at Sky Sports need to get their finger out and remember that there's a lot of Scottish people who have paid subscriptions as well. So we don't want to see any more of the so-called classic playoffs for England. I've seen all the Preston and Derby games that I want to see. I don't want to hear anything else about Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. I'd like them to chuck in some other action for the past. But if they keep on at this rate, I'm saying this only slightly tongue-in-cheek, if they keep showing the same old Celtic Rangers games every bloody night, they're going to sicken us. And we'll not want to watch these games, So forget all this stuff about that. That's what Scottish football is all about. That's a nonsense, an absolute nonsense. And you know what? I would go further. If Celtic and Rangers fans, as I've heard a few of them saying, starting a hoary old argument about joining the English League, and there's a lot of them saying, no, you know what, they might not get a better opportunity because the English game is going to be in its uppers. They'll be looking for a boost to their economy. They would welcome Celtic and Rangers and their 50, 60,000 fans with open arms. Go and do it just now. Go and do it now. But when you go to these meetings at the SPFL, don't talk about league reconstruction. Don't talk about finance and wanting the money in. Hand in your resignation and then let the rest of us go on with it. Let the rest of us reform the leagues and then we'll see how we get on then.
Yeah, well, apart apart from you being on your soapbox there, all I'm doing to you is I'm giving you the reality of what the marketing of the SPFL is all about. Now, the other point I would make to you is this: in your club, the teams that you supported and you played for, had the chance to change the voting structure from 11-1, but you decided against it. When Rangers were out of the league and going down to the bottom league, there was the perfect opportunity to do it, and you didn't do it. And that was a great opportunity to change it. And you didn't do it because you accepted the scraps that were being offered to you in a payment at the time to silence everyone. They should have done it then, Roughie.
Yep.
It's just a fact of life.
And this is exactly what's happening now. They're using it to the advantage that these wee clubs desperately need money to push through a resolution that will help them make a decision when it comes to the SPFL. But I was going to get back to the Sky one. You know better than me, Peter. The deal's been done with Sky for £125 million. Does that involve 4 teams coming into the league, or was that deal done as it stands?
Well, I can't give you the intricate details of the deal and what it involves. I would imagine it will involve Rangers and Celtic playing each other 4 times in that season. A guaranteed 4 Old Firm games.
Do you think that would be the stumbling block then, if they went back to Sky and went, oh, wait a wee minute, we're changing the league from 12 to 16? And Sky go, oh, wait a wee minute, that's not the deal.
Well, listen, in life, Roughie, everything can be renegotiated. Everything can be redrafted. I'm not saying for a minute that is not possible. I'm giving you the background to the way Sky, BT, Premier Sports, DAZN, this is how they operate, which is basically DAZN is a company which is flourishing across Europe, and it flourishes on the basis that you get a game that you can buy for a tenner. If you can't go to a game, you can pay DAZN a tenner for that one game, and you can watch it at any time. 3 o'clock, pay your tenner, you get to watch it. That's the way their business model goes. But it's all about supply and demand. I'm only giving you business economics about what companies are attracted to. Motherwell against St Johnstone might be a great game with great goals, but at the end of the day, when they see empty stands, it's not a great selling point for them. I'm sorry.
On joining those 2 points together, I remember, you'll both remember the programme. It was an STV football discussion programme for years ago called Sport in Question with Archie McPherson. I'm sure you remember it, maybe on 10:30 on a Monday night or so. And I remember Archie at the time advocating on one of these programmes that clubs would eventually pay fans to go to the football. Archie mentioned that one night. He says, because TV will govern. Now, Archie was saying this, I'm going back 20, 25 years maybe, but Archie reckoned that because TV was eventually going to dictate everything that happens in football and everybody would be able to watch any game of their choice, Archie said that in order for them to get an atmosphere in at the grounds, that the clubs, or maybe even the broadcasters, would actually pay fans. They'd maybe give them a £5 if they clicked through the turnstile, And you could imagine that would happen down the line, because the football it is so accessible now. You can watch just about every game to the point that we're getting sick of it, Peter. See, if I go into, I'm nearly going to have tears rolling down my eyes here at the very thought of going into a pub. But I've had this opinion for a while. When I do meet up with pals and I get into a boozer, you know what it's like. You can't go into a pub in the modern era without there being some football game on the screens, and it might be a second division game for Belgium or something that they've stuck on a Thursday night, but you still will get guys that you are meant to be having a chat with, having a game of pool with, whatever, having a laugh. They'll be glued to it like zombies. They'll be watching the screen up on the wall. That's the way it's all going. Every game will soon be on the telly.
Yeah, but you're talking about there a bit of compassion, a bit of a collective attitude to it. Tam, you're looking for utopia. The real world is that when the Premier League in England signed a £1 billion deal with the Chinese and the global viewing audience for the Premier League, Arsenal raised their season ticket. They're greedy. They just want more money. If you think for a minute clubs are going to say, oh, well, we've got a big TV deal, let's reduce our season ticket. Let's let fans get in for a £5. Are you kidding me? They wouldn't even do that now when they've signed a 6-year deal with Sky. So there's no chance of that.
Peter, I can't let the mayor mention his season tickets go with it, and other clubs I'm sure are doing the same, but I feel it's important, crucial in fact at this time to promote that. But Motherwell's season tickets have gone on sale this week. The early bird offer is still there. If you phone up the club number, you're able to purchase your season ticket. You can do it online or you can do it over the phone with your credit card in your hand. If you can afford that sort of money now, I would urge you to please do it. I know a lot of other clubs have put their season tickets up for sale as well. And even though, there is an element of uncertainty, I think the guys and girls, by and large, who buy their season tickets, they've got their club in their heart. And right now, what they want to do is give a few shekels to the club that they love. So I would urge anybody tuned into this just now that if your club has put the season tickets on sale, you might never have bought a season ticket before. Maybe you're the sort of fan that, a floating supporter, and you maybe go along to the games that you fancy. But the clubs are desperate for the cash to now. If the season tickets are on sale, if you've got a few £100 there that you won't miss, then please go and buy your club season ticket.
Yeah, I think that is a brilliant line to a lot of people, and I hope a lot of people take you up on that if they have a spare 100 or 200 quid, Tam. But the reality right now is everybody in the house that they're staying in with their family are wondering, in 3 months' time, am I going to have a spare 200 quid? And that is the big problem here, Roughie. People are worried about their futures and their families.
Yeah, not everybody can afford it. There's no doubt about that. But and I don't think they'll be buying the full scale season ticket. Obviously, they'll do what they want. I said to you the other day, I had a list of supporters to phone. I phoned about 30 supporters just to have a chat with them. And it was amazing. The amount of them had made donations and actively bought a season ticket. So I can see where Tam's coming from, but not everybody will be in that position. We have to stress that just because you're not doing it means you're not a bad supporter. You only can do what you can. But it's been amazing reading all the stories for all the different teams, what supporters are doing for their club.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm maybe being slightly selfish here because it's not everybody, unlike myself, who 2 years ago bought £50 of shares in Andrex toilet tissue. You're sitting looking at a millionaire, Peter.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being the killjoy on this programme, but I'm only trying to give you the bigger picture, obviously, because I absolutely eat, sleep and drink what the government's saying, what everybody's talking about, and I only have to, gear you towards or steer you even towards an interview, and I know he's Marmite, Tony Blair, but in an interview last night, I think on Channel 4, he mentioned, never mind the coronavirus right now and the pain we're feeling, recession and depression over the next 3 months, depending on the way this goes, because economies are going to be flat out on their knees. So it's difficult times ahead. And Billy Kaplinski, just talking about football, says, you're right, Peter. I only buy Celtic or Rangers games in the United States. Bleacher Sports does them for £10 a game. So, and thanks to Alec Kelly, Joyce McDougall, well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Hibs captain David Gray. David, the most important fact we always like to start with, are you and the family safe and well?
Yes, we're all good. It's difficult, challenging times, let's just say. I'm actually delighted I've got this little 5 minutes to myself here to take myself away for the pandemonium that's going on down the stairs with 3 young kids. But it's been a challenge to say the least, but one that we're all safe and well, so that's the main thing.
The amount of footballers we've had on the show, and I've asked them, how are you staying fit? How do you react to having to train on your own?
To be honest, I'm delighted that Boris Johnson's allowed us to have that hour out to go for a run, because I get to about 2 or 3 in the afternoon and I'm needing to get out of the house, so I go for a run then, and I'm able to use that sort of time to get away from the pandemonium that's going on, as I say, and I can concentrate on trying to stay as fit as possible. But it is difficult, and the motivation's difficult to keep going when you don't know when you're going to be going back, more importantly.
As you can see, day by day, David, all the players across the world are reacting to this pandemic and making gestures which are appreciated by their clubs. Hibs, quite early on, took the initiative and seemed to handle everything smoothly, with the players agreeing with Leanne Dempster and the board to defer wages, and obviously some staff have been furloughed. Are you pleased? Did you take the initiative as a captain? Did the players quickly want to sit down and make sure that everything was handled above board?
I think most importantly, everybody understands the severity of the situation. It's a no-brainer when you think about the club have got bills to pay, they've got staff to pay, and there's no money coming in because there's nobody paying to watch us play football. So it's a no-brainer on that front. And then the club were very good. They involved me right from the start. Well, they had the conversations initially as to what they wanted, what their ideas were, and what they wanted to put forward to the players, and then they involved me in the conversations. And myself and the gaffer had a few good chats with Graham Maffey and some members of the board, which was very productive. So I was included along the whole way along, and then we once we got it to a place we were happy with, we then introduced it to the rest of the players, and they all bought into it.
Obviously, the big dilemma for everybody now, we're not playing football. It's unlikely football will be anywhere close until we hit the summer, if at all. Leanne has mentioned today that everybody should just stay calm with regards to the votes on the Premiership and how it's called. If we can't kick another ball, what do you think should happen?
I knew this question was going to come. To be honest, I think it's just the uncertainty. I think there's that many clubs now that are so unsure about survival more than anything else. So I think if they can have, the earlier we can make a decision, whatever that decision may be, the clubs will be in a better position for it, and they can prepare accordingly, because I think the longer it goes without a decision being made, the more uncertainty develops around the clubs, and they might be rushed into making decisions that if they hold off a little bit, they might be able to find a different alternative.
I don't think null and void's on the table. Would you have any problem whatsoever if they called Celtic champions?
No, I don't think so. I think have to look at the league. I think Celtic have been the most consistent team all through the year. Obviously, it'd be a difficult one for Rangers supporters to take, but at the same time, I think people would appreciate the fact that Celtic are top of the league and we've done really, really well. So I think that's obviously. I'm delighted it's not me that has to make that decision. Let's just say.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I lived in Edinburgh for 12 years. I know exactly how thorny this next one could be. Personally, I don't want to see Hearts get relegated. I think because of the financial situation, I think we need as many top clubs as possible to come out of the misery. But they may well be relegated, which I think would be a backward step for us. What's your take on that relegation thorny issue?
No, I think if you're making Celtic champions and you're going off the way the league standings are at the minute, then that's what needs to happen. But I think from my point of view, you want to see Hearts in the league, definitely. They're fantastic games to be involved in. The derby's one that the fixture we all look forward to all the time, and it's better for Scottish football having the top teams at the top. But at the end of the day, that they are where they are in the league, and circumstances are so unprecedented that the situation is what it is. And again, I'm delighted it's not me that has to make that decision, but it'll be interesting to see how that one goes down.
If you had a call, would you expand the league?
Potentially. I think there is potential for that. Obviously, Dundee United have done so well as well. You've got to look at them. You've got to include them in this. Obviously, Hearts would be disappointed if they went down, but if you imagine saying to Dundee United for how well they've done, if you're making Celtic champions, Dundee United would have to be the same one. How can you say to them after having done so well that you can't come up to the top league? So I think that's a difficult situation as well, and it's one that I don't think there's an easy answer. I don't think there's a quick fix, but the quicker we can get something in place and the decision is made, then we can all sort of get our heads around it and move on as soon as possible.
You're still only 31. You told me you're studying a uni course. Is that you getting ready for when you eventually hang up those boots?
Yeah, well, exactly that. I'm not getting any younger, like you say. I'm getting to that point in my career where I need to be thinking about what I'm going to do, and I'm trying to make myself as prepared as possible. You never know what the future's going to hold for me. I've been doing my coaching badges as well, so alongside that, I've been doing a management diploma course at Napier University with some of the boys, which has been really, really good. We're actually doing another class today online. The tutor Stevie's been brilliant on that front. He's been trying to make sure we're keeping that going, and it's been a welcome distraction at night as well, doing a little bit of studying. Mind you, there has been times when after a full day in the house I open the laptop and I just shut it again because it's difficult to do it all the time, to be honest.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You're only human after all, but it's a great inspiration, I think, David, to many a footballer to plan long term when you eventually do hang up the boots. You've got a contract to 2023. Regardless of when you finish, you'll always be remembered as a man that scored that cup final winning goal and that epic day at Hampden. What does that mean to you?
I'm very proud and privileged to have been in that position. I think as a squad we've done fantastically well, and it was a game where going into the game we honestly believed we were going to win. I think it's easy to say that once it's happened, but the belief was there. We'd obviously faced Rangers a few times that season in the Championship, and it was always really close games, and we knew that on our day, if we turned up and played to our capabilities, we could beat them. So it was obviously a fantastic occasion, and on a personal note, that's fairy tale stuff for me, scoring the winner in the cup final in the last minute of the cup finals, sort of dreams are made of.
You won't be aware of this, David, but I've got a photograph of you holding the cup up, and then next to it is my tweet from the Hearts game saying, "Game over, 2-0 to the Hearts. The wait goes on for the Hibbies." I got absolute pelters for that for years. They do it every year to remind me.
I can imagine, yeah.
Do you remember anything specific about that day in the cup final? Is there a specific thing that sticks in your mind? Was it an inspirational chat from the manager? Was it just something that happened that you'll never forget, apart from obviously lifting the trophy?
I think the whole week leading into it, that season, the whole motivation behind it, I think for myself personally, was we got to the final of the League Cup as well, lost to Ross County, which was a hard one to take, especially as captain, playing in the game and feeling like you're dominating the game, and then to lose in the manner we did was a tough one to take. And then on the Friday, just the week leading up to the game, the cup final, we lost to Falkirk in the playoffs. So that was effectively a failure for us that season. Our aim was to get promoted. That was the first and foremost thing to be doing. And because we never managed to do that, the disappointment was there, and I was determined to make it not such a nearly season. Getting to 2 cup finals and failing on the promotion front would have been a terrible season for us. So that was the motivation I had, and I think I include all the boys in that. We came in on the Monday morning and it was fully focused, ready to go, and the belief was there right from training on the Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you know exactly what was going to happen from the corner when that ball came over?
To be honest, it is something we'd worked on a lot leading up to the game with John Doolan. He does a lot of the set pieces with the gaffer, and we know we had fantastic delivery, which you obviously seen for the first goal as well, and Hendel's put it right on the money again. And I always make that sort of run across the near post, and as soon as the ball was in the air, it's easy to say it now, but I knew I was going to get it, and I was determined to make sure I got on the end of it, and thankfully it went in the back of the net.
Yeah, every day on this programme, Roughie usually puts something behind him on the wall, a bit of memorabilia about something that he's won. Please tell me you've got a man cave with that Hibs strip from the cup final framed.
I've not got it framed, actually, in case somebody broke into my house and pinched it, to be honest. I've got it hidden away somewhere. It's locked up. I've got that. To be fair, I've kept all my stuff for the final. I've kept obviously my boots and things like that as well. So it's a special day, and it's one that I'm sure everybody involved will never forget. And it's great to have my son now as well, and I'll be passing it down to him and explaining it to him one day, hopefully.
Brilliant. Listen, David, it's been a joy. Thank you very much for taking time out. Get back to the studies, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in a Hibs strip soon when we're kicking that ball again.
That sounds good. Thanks very much. You look after yourself now as well. All right, take care.
Great stuff from David Gray there. Edinburgh man breaks into house storm. I can't believe it. Do they have that in Edinburgh, Tam? People breaking into houses and nicking strips?
Well, by the look of the interior of his place, it does look like a rough area.
Brilliant. I'll tell you one thing, Roughie. I like David Gray's attitude to it. Doesn't want to see Hearts out of the league. Loves the derbies. Yeah. I love them.
No, I think we all love the derbies. We all love everything, that goes with it. Even if you're just a spectator going to them, they're always got something to talk about, and it's just exactly what we're talking about. That's what you want to see. These kind of games on the telly. You hope they're classics and good goals, a bit of ability, and generally these games throw that out there.
Yeah, I have to say, Alison on YouTube has said, I thought Peter was about to interview David Gray, the singer. I don't think we could have actually, how we could manage to get him into the programme, I just do not know. Thanks to everyone who's putting across some brilliant points on YouTube and on Facebook Live every day, Monday to Friday at 4 o'clock. Obviously, we always mention that 99.9% of the people who follow us, who offer their opinion, are thoroughly decent people. You always get the 0.1%, Tam, who are slightly abusive and use language that we don't want to mention on the programme. But to have such a high and varied variety right across the globe of people tuning into the show who love their club is just heartwarming.
Aye, I mean, there's always people out there. I won't name them because you're not meant to give these people the oxygen of publicity. But we've got a guy, Peter, who on Twitter absolutely slaughters off the ball after every show we have ever done, saying it's the worst thing ever in radio, calling me and Cosgrove every name under the sun. The spelling, the grammar is absolutely horrendous. This guy is a grade A idiot, an absolute carrot, right? But the thing about it is the lady doth protest too much because he clearly never misses a single show, and then he wants to slag it, Yeah, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. By the way, I hope I'm going to be allowed to finish. I hope I'm going to be allowed to finish today's programme with a song, am I?
Listen, Tam, far be it from me to deny you your moment. I mean, at the end of the day, you will be able to sing a song as well. But, Roughie, you've got to give us the answer to who's in that picture behind you or that painting. There's you and who else?
It's actually Billy Connolly.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
It's a Maryhill boy who, away back in the days when he was in the shipbuilding, his history started Maryhill, so he's in the photo, along with a lot of things from the background, the tram cars and everything that went on away back then. So it's a painting made by one of the supporters.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Okay. Thanks to a lot of people who offered their own opinion on who was in the picture behind you. Quite a lot of people suggesting, various names along the way, but I'm glad you've cleared it up. Quite a lot of people thought it was from Gregory's girl, the painting, Roughie, but no. Over and above that...
Let's not go back to talking about bushes.
Bella.
So anyway, the next thing, and just two quick things to finish, and I think this is a good point. The English Premier League players all released a statement. There was a statement that players together, and it's basically, all the players have decided to put money towards the NHS. We've held talks with a vision of creating a contribution fund that can be used to distribute money to where it's needed most in this COVID-19 crisis, helping those fighting for us on the NHS front line as well as other key areas of need. This is a critical time for our country and for our NHS, and we're determined to help in any way that we can. We've created our own collective player initiative, #PlayersTogether, and have partnered with NHS charities together to assist them in distributing funds quickly and efficiently. Players Together is about we, as players, collaborating together to create a voluntary initiative separate to any other club and league conversations to help get much needed funds to those that need it right now. And I say on behalf of Jordan Henderson and every other English Premier League player, and I know a lot of Scottish players and a lot of clubs who are doing some really great work to help in the community. I mean, I can only mention the Celtic FC Foundation as well as one of so many clubs who are going out and getting food banks out there, helping with equipment. That's what we really thrive on, Tam, is that spirit. I do feel personally, Tam, I don't know if you feel this, Roughie, I do feel as if, Scottish football, English football, football in general has been slightly an easy target for what are you doing with all your money. Not everybody earns millions. And I hope suddenly we get an initiative from other people to say, by the way, we earn lots of money. We're going to, give as much as the Premier League players are doing.
Absolutely. Peter, you know what? There's such a gulf. We've known it for years, gulf between English and Scottish football. The bottom line is, there you were speaking to the captain of Hibernian Football Club, a huge Scottish club, an institution. But David Gray, Sir David Gray, is telling us there that he's currently studying for life after football. If he was the club captain at any side in the English Premier League, he would not need to work another day in his life when he hangs up the boots. He would be minted. The money would be coming out of his ears. But it is a different kettle of fish. It is terrific that the players who can afford it have put the money into this fund. It's going to benefit the NHS and other great causes. But we should always remember that these players are only ever the tiny, tiny tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Roughie?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think these kind of situations just show you how much fans mean to clubs. And I've said it on numerous occasions. I wish that the players, the present-day players, would have more contact with their own fans. And this is the kind of thing that brings these kind of things out. You know, if they can all work in harmony and all pulling in the right direction, football could only be a good thing for that.
Just before we go and before we hear Tam singing, the answer to the quiz was 2006, 2007. I just better check that again just to make sure. Yeah, that was the answer to our quiz question from all the facts that we put out to you in the quiz. Over and above that, I never thought I'd look back, Tam, as a 19 or 20-year-old. There was a time where you could actually go out every night of the week and meet lots of people. Money was, spewing about everywhere in the mid-80s. I could go Monday night to Toledo Junction in Paisley. I could go Tuesday night to the Gemini in East Kilbride. Wednesday night to the Cotton Club and meet Frank McAvenny at the bar. Thursday night, I could go to a club that appeals to Roughie. It was Thursday night, was Grab a Granny night in the Savoy. And then Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you could go anywhere you wanted, Tam, even through to Edinburgh to Buster Brown's. Now we're stuck in. What are you going to do tonight, Tam?
I'll tell you, Peter, that's some amount of knockbacks. I made that. That was you. You must have got about 11 every night for a week. That was amazing. Oh, you're right, Peter. You know what? I'm already, I've got favourite Indian restaurants. Me and my wife have been talking about this, the fantasy night out when this is all over. Be it if it's going to my favourite Indian restaurant. I would love to get down maybe the Friday night, the Saturday night, Sunday afternoon or the Monday afternoon, down to the Shipbank Inn, the Salt Market in Glasgow for the live sing-song. And a wee couple of halves. It would be absolutely terrific. And it will be over one day. And we will be able to rejoice in that. And we will be able to enjoy ourselves. And we will be able to give each other a cuddle. It'll all be safe then. You can shake your friend's hand. It'll be terrific. I've said it before to you, Peter. When we were kids at school and they showed you that Pathé news footage of D-Day in London, June 1945, every town, village, city in Scotland is going to be like that when this is over. This is almost making it worthwhile. It's going to be great. The world will be a different and I think a happier place for it.
I hope you are right. I love it. It's almost as if he was the narrator for The Quiet Man there, Roughie. He was just painting a wonderful picture for us. Roughie, what are you doing tonight?
I've got an economics class in my computer. About 8 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, sure you have. Well, listen, thank you to the lots of people and thousands of people, I tell you right now, on Facebook and YouTube Live who've been posting messages to us. Neil Lumsden, Alec Kelly, so many people across all the platforms and from near and far, Australia, America. I'm sorry I can't mention so many of you. Robert McGee, Ian Finn, David Goodall. There's so many people joining us there. And of course, on YouTube, it would be remiss of me not to mention the likes of John McLean and, of course, Mark and Ray Finkel. It's just such a great name. Pat Scanlon. Lots of people who are joining us. Like, share and follow our Facebook page if you do get a chance. We'd love you to join our community of football family. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and you'll know exactly what you're gaining access to. Lots of great football content as well as the live programme. I leave you tonight thanking Roughie for his contribution. From myself, Peter Martin, we have Tam Cowan taking us out with a little ditty. Tam.
Thank you, Peter. Well, remember, you've got the new song tonight live on Instagram at 6 o'clock at The Real Tam Cowan. But this was a track I put down, as they say, on Monday. It was hugely topical. It's called I Wouldn't by Tam O'Chanter. Here we go. I wouldn't go out the house tonight. I wouldn't jump in the car. I wouldn't put my foot on the gas. I wouldn't go very far. I wouldn't travel to the kingdom. I wouldn't go to Fife. I wouldn't go to my holiday home. I wouldn't cause the virus is rife. I wouldn't take the whole family. I wouldn't, not because I'm a prude. I wouldn't because there's a feckin' lockdown, but Catherine Calder would. I wouldn't because there's a feckin' lockdown, but Catherine Calder would.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.